Hi, you're watching the Times of India. I'm Aditi Prasad and we're watching our show, The Narrative. It's our election special and phase 4 voting has been completed. Now, the elections with this phase of voting are almost 70% done. Just about 164 seats of the 543 parliamentary seats or the parliamentary constituencies are left to vote, and that too in the heartlands. That's, of course, going to happen from the next phase onwards. Clearly, the Lok Sabha fight is now entering or has now entered its final stages. But today, our focus is on Andhra and Telangana, the two states that send a total of 42 MPs to the parliament, to the Lok Sabha, and therefore very, very crucial for both the India alliance as well as for the NDA. Now, joining me in the studio, as usual, is our very politically savvy Rahul Verma from he's a fellow at the Center for Policy Research. Others who are joining us online are Sohail Seth, marketing maven and an author, and we have with us Kingshuk Nag, author and journalist. Yashwant Deshmukh is also going to be joining us shortly, and so is Tehseen Poonawala, but we are just waiting for them to come in. Now, a lot has happened. Since you're in the studio, and let me just fire the first question at you, Rahul. A lot has happened since we did our previous episode of Narrative. Phase 3 was over at that time, phase 4, but a lot has happened in between. Kejriwal has been released from jail. The political narrative seems to be changing. Suddenly, from a very polarized narrative, we have moved towards the narrative of Modi's retirement in 2025, about the PM speaking about Adani, Ambani and all of that. So how do you feel? Where do you see this going now?
So basically, this election has no single narrative. What you expected in the something else is.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
We need to be alert about our audio of our other guests.
So this election, in that sense, has no single narrative. If you look, when elections were announced in March, it seemed perhaps Ram Temple and some of the things that BJP government had done in the past, whether it's G20 or welfare schemes they had rolled out, popularity of the Prime Minister, some of these would be basically the narrative which BJP will try to put forward. BJP, on the other hand, went ahead with Ab Ki Baar 400 Par and tried to create also a narrative around opposition leaders getting involved in corruption cases, and arrest of Kejriwal was part of that. And since then, what seems to be happening, that there is no single overarching narrative of this election. In the first phase, the turnout fell, and then what we are seeing, the turnout is consistently declining, which in some ways might have spooked political parties, especially the BJP and Prime Minister Modi, to bring in some sort of element into the election, and basically going back to the core, mobilizing the core. And so BJP, in that sense, used the Hindu-Muslim polarization card. But again, that also is not generating a lot of debate on the Congress manifesto. We had some conversation, the inheritance tax and everything. But it seems like from every second day, we have one more talking point. And so we're moving from talking points to talking point.
Let me take this to our marketing, brand specialist Sohail Seth. Sohail, no narrative in this election, and we're just moving from topic to topic is what Rahul thinks. As a marketing specialist, how do you see the strategies adopted by the NDA versus the India alliance? How is it playing out for you?
I don't think there's any strategy. They're just bumbling from one stupid comment to another, all of them. I mean, right now the race is for who sounds more stupid than who sounds more intelligent. And the remarkable thing is that the media is lapping it up. Okay, let Yashwant finish with his nose cleaning so that we can then have some clarity of voice. Now, you see, that's the other problem. The pollsters are blowing their nose instead of blowing wisdom.
Okay, Yashwant, that's a pot shot at you, and I'm sure you'll come back.
No, but it's a fact. Poor chap, I don't blame him. It must be the pollen. He must be in Sweden or somewhere. Having said that, on a serious note, it is disastrous and it isn't funny anymore. The way the political discourse in this country has fallen is something that this country should be ashamed of. And everyone is a willing participant. What is going on here? Yeah? I mean, I can now hear Tehseen pleading with people to take him inside. I don't know inside where, but so can we continue this? How is this
Please.
going to run? I hope this is not live.
This
because
is
this will
live.
need an
We are
army
live.
of editors. Oh, you're
We
live.
are
Okay,
we are live right now. Please carry on.
It's a great sign.
Tehseen,
It's a great
yeah,
sign.
yeah.
So basically, I want to harp on 3 points. Number one, as you rightly said, the political narrative has fallen to depths which have been unfathomable. They've never happened before. I hope they never happen again. Number two, there is no talk. There is only, lip service to development and to. It's basically abusing each other. It's the abuse, the vituperative abuse that is being hurled from one political party to another. Number three, no constitutional office has been spared. You have discussed the skin color of the President of India. You have abused the Prime Minister of India. You have abused state governors. You have abused chief ministers. I mean, is this democracy? Where the freedom, where your so-called freedom extends to the freedom of you abusing each other? You tell me, if you were to sit back as a seasoned journalist that you are, what would your takeaway be? What political parties are fighting on which flank? Tell me that.
I don't
The
know because
alliance, the
everybody, yeah.
alliance, exactly. The alliance is abusing Modi. They're not even abusing the BJP anymore. The hatred for Modi is so severe that it has now translated to a hatred for India in many cases. The Congress Party is busy losing some people, and Rahul Gandhi is talking on an intergalactic panel, which I frankly don't know. I mean, even Sam Petroda had to drop out of the race because Rahul Gandhi's intellectual contribution to this campaign has been so remarkable that it escapes anyone above an IQ of 3. So we really don't know what's going on. Mayawati sacks her nephew and her successor. Mamta Banerjee is dancing to a beat of her own. You have YSR, talking about how he's saddened about his sister's behavior. You tell me who is talking about the three fundamental things: development, employment, and national security. Those have fallen by the wayside. So I'm no one to say that they should talk about this or talk about that. All I'm saying is, in a democracy as vibrant and robust as we are, or so we claim, where are the issues?
Where
Is
are
it
the
a
real
case?
issues?
Yeah, is it a case of Operation Successful Patient Debt? That's my question.
And that seems to be the case in the as Yashwant, you joined us a little late, and therefore, and I know that you have to leave us early also. So I pose this question to you, which Suhail has really very aptly put out. We are, and I started with this, that we are hurtling from issues to issues in the between the second and the third phase. If it was minorities and appeasement and Muslim vote bank, in the between the third and the fourth phases, one has seen a lot of things, including PM Modi's retirement, Kejriwal's release, the whole conversation about. Suddenly now there's talk about guarantees. Everybody is giving guarantees. Congress is giving its own guarantee. BJP, Mr. Modi's guarantees are separate. Kejriwal is giving his own guarantees. Ki meri guarantee hai. Where do you see the narrative of this election going? Yashwant, I can't.
Are you getting my voice now?
Yes, I'm getting your voice now.
Okay. I said the narrative has shifted from pollsters blowing their nose to sneezing harshly in allergic reaction. So, which is out of control. I mean, that's precisely what is happening. I guess that the common man, just like Sohel said, that, common sense has gone out of the window. I think what is happening is right now everybody is making a race to the bottom. I know Tahseen would probably disagree. He would say that the race to bottom has been started by those who are in power. Possibly, yes. I won't contest that. But the thing is that altogether, I think the real issues which in our tracker, in our data.
Okay, Yashwant is freezing up. He's probably having an internet connection. But let me, and Sohail, let me just come back to this point about you took. Okay.
And at the end of it, the only electorally viable or sustainable thing that opposition has by and large been kind of successful in the last 1 or 2 months is localization of the election. But that localization of election, is something which, first of all, I believe that they have discovered way too late in the game. For the last 4.5 years, they have been their only campaign has been bashing the prime minister, centralizing the campaign around Modi, and that's all of a sudden they realize that this is not going to work. So let's localize the election. So localization is something which they have discovered, but they have discovered rather late in the game. So I don't know how much impact that's gonna have.
Good that you brought up localization, Yashwant, because I know that you're with us for a brief time. So I'm just going to dive straight into the localization aspect of this election, and that Andhra is a perfect starting point to talk about that right now with you, because remember, Andhra is voting for both its 25 MPs as also for its 175 MLAs. 25 seats in Andhra. TDP candidates this time around, what I've seen of them, they've been prancing around with a spring in their step, thinking and hoping for a return, and actually imagining in a return, hoping to take advantage of the anti-incumbency which might be there against Jagan Reddy. What's your sense of this?
Well, Aditi, a few very quick pointers on Andhra Pradesh. Number one, that Andhra has been, from the vote share perspective, somehow way closer than we analyze. But still, with a closer vote share contest, the results have often come out as a lopsided in terms of seat share. So that is my first observation. Second, that even last time, because Pawan Kalyan contested separately and ate up almost like 6% votes, and he has joined hands with the TDP, and in the routine anti-incumbency sentiment, TDP plus has been on a roll of salt in the last 6 months. All our pre-poll trackers were pointing out in that direction. What remains to be seen that what is going to be the final turnout. I am very keen to look into Andhra Pradesh turnout for a simple reason that rest of the India, I have observed very clear trend. Suhail might like to delve into that. That wherever the contest is kind of keen and good contest is there, the turnout is better than the national average, And wherever, in our trackers and everywhere, we are anticipating a sort of lopsided contest, whichever direction it might be. Say, for example, even in a state like Kerala, which the Congress was supposed to win hands down, their 7% turnout drop is witnessed. So, in a lopsided perceived contest, which is lopsided in nature, the turnout has gone down. Now, this turnout, when it goes down, Aditi, it is basically if I am feeling that the party which is winning, I am the supporter, that I might feel like lethargy that, okay, my party is winning, what's the point to vote? Or if I am voting for the other party which is losing, regardless of me going to the vote or not, I might feel like depressed that, okay, why should I vote? And then the heat wave gives a perfect excuse for both these set of people not to vote. So heat wave is not the reason. Heat wave is generally an excuse. Because if the contests are well, we have seen within the states, Aditi, where the turnout has dropped, but within those states, for example, Rajasthan, the overall turnout dropped. But in seats like Barmer, seats like Jalore, where the contest is good, in those 4 or 5 seats, the contest
the voting has been good.
So it's rather than looking into the turnout factor, whether it is anti-incumbent, pro-incumbent, it is a very localized phenomena. I think you should be very carefully observing that. And that's why I am very keen to observe the turnout of Andhra Pradesh today. And because also the fact that it is Assembly and Lok Sabha going together in the poll, which, by the way, unlike Odisha, unlike Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh is not known for giving a split verdict. So far, by and
Interesting.
large, they have kind of given the result in the same direction for Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha when they are polling at the same time. So all these factors, Andhra is very, very critical and very important in this entire game right now.
Okay, interesting. So I was just told the Andhra voting percentage so far, but I wasn't able to hear it properly, so I can't tell you right now. But I'll just have a look at what the voting percentage was or has been in Andhra so far. But largely, it's been. Do you see and the TDP tying up with the BJP? Who is that working in favor of? Because obviously, as you said, local elections, that nothing speaks like that, speaks to that like Andhra does. Because the national parties don't really have a share, a vote share in as far as Andhra is concerned. It's largely the TDP and of course on one hand and Jagan Reddy. But will the TDPs and therefore the BJP has had to partner with the TDP to sort of make a dent there. Will the tie-up or the alliance with TDP help Chandrababu Naidu make a comeback, or will it not work in his favor? Because as some people were telling me that, the temple issue, BJP, not a big issue, but Modi campaigning there, that could sort of influence voters. How do you see that playing out?
Aditi, as BJP and Congress both have been non-existent. There has to be some really spectacular reason for Jagan Mohan Reddy to have been bending over backwards to accommodate BJP for the last 5 years, and TDP doing the same now in order to get into alliance. And even though, I think the larger point that analysts make that, there was way too many cases against Jagan Mohan Reddy, so that's why he had to accommodate BJP because it was ruling center and everything else. That doesn't apply on the TDP. So what's the reason? The reason is, even though Congress and the BJP are absent, zero in Andhra Pradesh, on the prime ministerial question, the number in Andhra Pradesh in our tracker has been all along almost 70-30 in favor of Mr. Modi. Now, I think...
So we might really see a different verdict this time in Assembly.
Together. Yeah, exactly. So I think TDP decided to make play of that and use the trustworthiness or goodwill of Prime Minister Modi to give them extra bump in these elections, because assembly and parliamentary elections are happening together.
Let me bring in Tehseen at this point. Tehseen, Congress vote share in Andhra has been falling since I think 1998, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the numbers exactly. But how do you see YS Sharmila's entry? Because pitching the daughter and the sister of the chief minister there as a Congress, sort of face, if, for lack of a better word, in Andhra. How is that going to make a difference for the Congress, or has it made any difference for the Congress?
Yeah, it made a difference in the perception. You're discussing her on your show, so it does make a difference. Otherwise, you wouldn't be discussing Andhra.
True.
So that's point number one. So point number two, sometimes elections is not about winning or losing, but it's about keeping your organization alive, putting the momentum in, showing that you're in a fight. So while the numbers mathematically are stacked against the Congress, of course they are in Andhra Pradesh, but also remember they have two neighboring states where they're in government, Karnataka and Telangana. That gives it impetus, that gives them momentum, that gives them an ability to move resources, that gives them an ability to move things around. So any performance that then helps the party grow, it's not about 2024. In the next 5 years, in 2029, the Congress becomes a force then. So sometimes you just need to keep the wheel churning. Otherwise, your organization becomes like how it's become in Uttar Pradesh. It becomes rusted. You don't have an organization left. So sometimes you got to do things for a larger good, for a bigger thing. In that case, she was a good face, a good candidate, and she did create certain amount of attention. She also took away the sympathy that her brother got with the father. So she neutralized that. In fact, she got perhaps a little bit more because the brothers got many a times with the BJP. There's a very core anti-BJP vote in Andhra Pradesh, very strong. So while I do agree with Yashwant that the Prime Minister individually is very, very popular, the Prime Minister is also in the south of India for his popularity, which is a lot. There are also enough people who are against him. So that then unites. People unite against the BJP. More than the Prime Minister, you unite against the BJP. So you then have that Jagan's gone with the BJP. You then have that Chandrababu Naidu and Pawan Kalyan are going with the BJP. So you have one force that will never go with the BJP. So it unites those votes. So those are good moves to make. But those are Andhra local politics. On the national perspective, I want to make a larger point. You see, I heard everyone speak, and I've been very disappointed when this election started, or prior to what this election started. I was very impressed with the BJP and with the Prime Minister. I thought, here's a man who's fighting his third term, or he wants his third term. He will fight it on issues. He dropped the hate mongers. He dropped the Pragya Thakur. He dropped the Ramesh Biduri. And I was impressed. I was like, he really wants to leave a legacy in the third term. But to see the Prime Minister of the greatest country in the world, the man who this country has given everything to, this is the greatest country, it gave him everything. You can't get anything more than being 2 times Prime Minister. Teesri time ban jaoge. But machi, magarmach, mangalsutra, machi, magarmach, machi, mangalsutra Musalman, machi, mangalsutra Musalman, machi, mangalsutra Musalman. मतलब ये क्या है? मतलब ये आपको शोभा देता है? I'm genuinely asking this. क्या मुसलमान हमारे नहीं है? क्या वो हमारे लोग नहीं है? ये किस तरह की बातें हो रही हैं? And you can make fun, you can poke fun at everybody. You can poke fun at Rahul Gandhi, at Sam Pitroda. I mean, I think Sam Pitroda is quite silly. I'm saying this very openly. I was the one who revolted against it. Congress had to take action. I was the first one who said, what the hell is the guy up to? But प्रधानमंत्री तो प्रधानमंत्री है ना. इससे ज्यादा, Suhail, just 1 minute. इससे बड़ा तो कोई, 1 second, Suhail, 1 second. Suhail, 1 minute. Suhail, 1 minute.
Suhail, I'll come to you.
Don't break my flow.
Suhail, I'll come to you.
Just one, don't break my flow. मतलब इससे बड़ा तो देश आपको कुछ दे नहीं सकता है. And to do that, to say मुसलमान, मुस्लिम लीग, मुसलमान घुसपैठिया, आपका मंगलसूत्र ले लेंगे, मुसलमान को दे देंगे, घुसपैठिया आ गए. What kind of politics is this? Please mock Rahul Gandhi. I personally, I love Rahul. If you want to mock him, go ahead and mock him. But fact is, Rahul's at least talking about a caste census. You can't say caste census is divisive. You can disagree with it.
I think Tehseen,
but
let me
this
just bring
has
in
been
Praful.
stunning.
Tehseen, let me bring in.
Sorry, I'll also answer Suhail's. Yeah.
Yeah. Sohail's voice is on mute, guys. Sohail, we can't hear you.
I'm not mute.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Tell me.
Yeah, you guys must have muted me.
I'm not.
The freedom of speech has been thwarted.
No.
I will fight for Suhail's freedom of speech.
I wanted to ask you a very simple question as a segue, and it's not being sarcastic.
No, of course not.
You're a full-fledged member of the Congress Party?
No, not at all. But I am a voter. I want them to win, and I revolted. I was the first one to give my mind. But they took action after I went public. Liya na action.
You see, the
action liya na, bhai.
Problem in
Bhai,
India
action
is
liya na.
No one answers the question. You ask.
I answered the question. I'm not.
1 minute. Are you going to Bombay? He'll say, I've just come back from Coimbatore. My question is very pointed. Are you a member of the
No,
Congress?
I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
That's it.
No, I'm not.
I have no supplementary. Perfect.
I have a supplementary, but they acted on what I said.
Arey, that you think, na? Everyone.
I know so.
7,000
मैं बोल रहा हूँ.
that day,
All
they
right.
must have acted on yours only.
Let me bring in Praful Ketkar. He's joined us. He's the editor of the Organizer. Praful, you heard what Tehseen said about the Prime Minister and about Machli. What was it, Tehseen? You said
मछली मंगलसूत्र मुसलमान मछली मंगलसूत्र
Why did you
मुसलमान
say Magarmach?
गलती से निकल गया वो मगल that's a different story वो गलती से निकल
You
गया
shouldn't have said
Okay.
Magarmach. They are
yeah
harmless.
that's a different story.
Okay, Mr.
So,
Ketkar, please wait.
Aditi, yeah. Before coming to what Tehseen said, one thing we must accept that you said, started by saying, wherever I am traveling, I travel to Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh. One question that is constantly asked and talked about, whether a voter is from this side or that side, 400 par ho raha hai ki nahi. So that, one narrative that is constant everywhere besides localization and, issue changing here and there, that is a constant factor everywhere. You cannot miss this on the ground. Two, when you spoke about Andhra, you said after 1998. I am sorry to disagree. From 1977, whenever Congress has made a comeback, remember this, whether 1980, whether 1991, whether 2004, every time it was the united Andhra who stood by the Congress. Don't miss this important point. So if Congress has to make a comeback, the combined Andhra, I'm not talking about the present day Andhra plus Telangana, Congress has to perform well along with Kerala. That has been the trend. So this point we cannot miss. As far as the narratives and the issues that Tehseen has raised, Tehseen, you just do one simple search in a Congress manifesto in the name of minority, and you will find at least 15 times it is mentioned. In a small 23-page document, it's a 15 times minority word is mentioned. And that's why Prime Minister categorically said that I waited for some time. I initially just made a comment that it is a Muslim League kind of manifesto. But now, because nobody is talking about this, and when Rahul Gandhi started talking about, because this has been it is not just about caste census, talking to youngsters and saying that you are failing because some caste is setting your question paper, and indirectly you are suggesting that now you have to have a caste based question papers. You want to raise the ceiling of reservation, which is capped by the court, of course, and the constitutional provision, and then saying that we will ensure that all Muslims should get some kind of reservation, and you expect that BJP or any other party will not speak about it. It is not possible. So you need to understand the things in context. Though I agree with what Yashwant has said, that when it comes to the all over narrative, it could have been much better. Initially it was about leadership, cultural resurgence, national security, and all over performance when BJP released its manifesto. But after that, phase by phase, we see the things changing. When it comes to Andhra, Aditi, I want to make one more point. You asked about the alliance. Please try and understand, and Yashwant can correct me if I'm wrong. Last time, Pawan Kalyan dented TDP at least on 8 to 9 seats. It's not just the 6% vote share. Specifically denting TDP on 8 to 9 seats, which made a huge difference when it comes to the Lok Sabha performance. How will it translate in assembly thing? I'm not sure. But that's why TDP, JSP, BJP combined makes a huge difference. Today, surprisingly, not many people are covering what is happening on the ground in Andhra. But as far as I know, there are many places in Andhra where there is a very strong tussle, not just the mobilization, the physical fights, violence that is as being reported now from Bengal. Unfortunately, is not talked about from Andhra, but Jagan is sensing something radically going wrong, and we need to understand this, and that's why he is using his political machinery very heavy-handedly. One point that I'll just conclude, we should not miss. Yesterday, a church has come out openly with a kind of church kind of fatwa to vote in favor of Jagan, and that will also play a role.
Okay. Yashwant, I know that you have to leave, so I'd like you to weigh in on what Mr. Ketkar has said, largely in terms of the TDP, BJP, and the Jansena alliance. Now, how is this? In some seats, obviously, especially YS Sharmila, it's a very interesting battle, pitted against her cousin in Kadapa. Lots of other good seats coming into, we're talking about today. What is your sense? What is that X factor that is going to play the biggest role in who the voters have chosen? I can't say will choose. They've already chosen. The ballot boxes are closed now. Yashwant? Audio.
Yeah,
you're audible now.
Sharmila ji, if she takes the Congress vote share up, it will be only end up hurting Jagan Mohan Reddy. I mean, goes without saying, because it's the Congress vote which has been transferred to Jagan Mohan Reddy. So any performance, 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, God knows how much, whatever she picks up for the Congress, it will make life of Jagan Mohan Reddy more and more tougher. So it's like the role that played by Pawan Kalyan in 2019.
19, that role.
Is playing the same role in 2024 against Jagan Mohan Reddy.
So you're saying strengthening the hand of the BJP TDP alliance, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And there are factors to weigh in any case. Let's not forget that the original development plank campaigning or election was started by TDP, Chandrababu Naidu, because but he didn't reap the electoral benefit out of it in the initial years. He actually lost
2004, right?
big time. The reason was that it took really long time for those benefits to percolate down to the rural areas, because साइबराबाद तो बन गया आदिति, लेकिन बाकी रूरल आंध्रा में उसका फायदा नहीं पहुंचा था उस समय तक. So I think now that there is a much better percolation of the economy at the bottom of the pyramid, I think way more schemes which are welfareism oriented schemes, they are making better impact. So I genuinely believe that Jagan Mohan Reddy also did a lot many welfareism schemes, but at some point of time, because of the lopsided number of MLAs and MPs that he had and their malfunctioning, their non-performance has also played a vital role in the kind of tracker numbers, which pre-poll numbers that have been taking down the YSR's fortunes in our numbers.
Got it. Let me just segue into neighboring Telangana.
On the turnout, Aditi, 80% was the mark which they got last time in a curious and very strong anti-incumbent verdict at that point of time. So if it is reaching almost 80, below 80, above 80, it will have different kind of implications as far as I understand.
Interesting. It's definitely looking to be below 80 as I understand it. Till 3 p.m. that was the last we checked. It was 55%. The numbers would have come out for till 5 p.m. by now. So we'll check in a while and update that. But let me just segue into neighboring Telangana. While regional players, TDP and YSRCP are dominating Andhra, in neighboring Telangana, it's the BRS, which is literally, it's an existential fight for BRS right now. I know I want to come to you, Mr. Kingshuk Nag, on this. How do you see, do you see this as an existential fight for the BRS this time in Telangana? Mr. Nag?
The state of Telangana was created with the help of Sonia Gandhi. Unfortunately, at the last moment, the TRS boss, KCR, jettisoned her. So he came to power. And a lot of people had supported Telangana, and there are a lot of expectations from him. But in the end, he did nothing. Of course, he did a lot of things. He wanted to urbanize Hyderabad. Because why did he want to urbanize Hyderabad so deeply? Because he thought the only way he can make money revenue is through developing real estate. And that's what he did. And he became like a neo Nizam. He was nowhere to be seen. He was very accessible to everybody before, and then he was not accessible at all. As a result, a lot of people became very upset with him, and therefore he lost the votes. And that is the reason he lost the last legislative assembly election. And I think in this Lok Sabha election also he's not very well placed.
Not very well placed. Let me bring in Rahul on that. Rahul, can the BRS make an impact this time around? They've been fighting very hard. They've been campaigning very hard. And this is literally an existential fight as far as BRS is concerned, because they have won and they've won big. This time around, last time around they couldn't, and this is literally their only hope of survival.
I wouldn't say this is the only hope of survival. Like, this party has ruled Telangana for 10 years. So yes, I think after losing the assembly election last year, it's one of sort of like leanest phase of their politics. And if they continue to go down, which might happen if Congress is in power. BJP seems to be making headway in the state. So if politics in Telangana becomes much more sort of like concentrated between Congress and BJP, and kind of a national politics takes over, then yes, BRS will have a trouble going forward.
As you saw, 9 seats last time around with a 41% vote share. And that's the numbers that you're seeing on the screen. These are 2019 numbers. What's your sense of BRS? Very interestingly, the Congress 2023 it literally swept the elections. But what is your sense of Revant Reddy's, the guarantees, the 13 guarantees, I think, which they finally consolidated into 6 guarantees. It's been 6 months of the Revant Reddy government. None of those, at least 1 or 2, I think the free bus rides for women, that guarantee is sort of fulfilled. In terms of, so there seems to be some discontent about those guarantees not getting fulfilled.
I wouldn't read too much into that. See, generally, an incumbent 6 months into power is always or mostly seen as in the honeymoon phase. And so what is expected in Telangana, that the Congress is going to do well. BJP is also going to pick up some seats. The question would be whether BRS can save some of its fort or not. So to expect that Congress, after winning or doing well in assembly election in 6 months ahead, will have a tough time, I think that would be too.
Yashwant, let me put that to you, and then I'll come to you, Sohail, on this. Okay, sorry, Yashwant has left us. Yes, he told me that he'll be leaving. Sohail, let me come to you with that. Can BJP, Tehseen, I'll just come to you. Sorry, I can't see you. I can only hear you, so I didn't see you raising your hand. I'll just come to you. Give me a minute. The question for Sohail is this. Can BJP achieve its ambition? They want to up their tally in Telangana from 4 seats. They want to take it up to double digits. You think that's a possibility this time around? Mr. Modi has done enough and more shows, road shows, speeches, rallies out there, and he is a pull factor for them.
See, there's no, I'm not a psephologist or a soothsayer to say that, oh yeah, they'll do well, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
The question is, was Telangana and Andhra, were they afflicted with corrupt politicians? The answer is yes. Even today, Andhra, there are enough accusations against the present Chief Minister, Revant Reddy, that he's corrupt. Now, the fact is, no one can ever accuse Narendra Modi of being corrupt. Let's be honest. I'm not part of the BJP or the Congress, nor am I a voter, supporter, member. So I will say it as it is. The Congress has been famous for accepting and condoning corruption, as have been YSR. YSR's dad was the biggest fund provider to the Congress. It's another matter that the sun turned turtle. But everyone knew that YSR was an absolutely corrupt bloke. So, what will happen? Today, people across India, to my mind, are more concerned about prosperity and development. They are less concerned about the other shenanigans which some of these people are playing. I don't know if Modi will get 4 seats or 10 seats or 20 seats. The question is he taken more seriously than some of these other Johnnies? Answer is yes. Do we need development to replace corruption? The answer is yes. Do we need a center that is focused on prosperity and development? Answer is yes. Do we also need a center that is focused on the enshrined principles of democracy? The answer is yes. So I don't know what will eventually happen, because please remember, Narendra Modi gave his all to the West Bengal assembly elections, and you know how that showed up. Today, West Bengal is in that same miserable state, qua employment, qua industry. But, the Bengalis don't care, I guess. The electorate has a strange way of showing its priorities. I mean, this is the same electorate that we keep saying, oh, Indian electorate, very bright, very bright. Many a time they don't show their intellect so visibly. I mean, I take the risk of saying it. So, we keep saying, "Arey yaar, Indian electorate bahut chalak hai, bahut chalu hai, ghanta chalu hai." For bloody 30 years, you had the communists, then you replace them with Mamata Banerjee. Where's the development? Forget Naveen Patnaik, who I like personally. What has happened in Odisha? A mineral-rich state has gone to the dogs. That's the serious truth about Odisha. Naveen Patnaik may be the overarching god there, but they have done diddly jack to Odisha. Diddly jack. It's another matter. These guys are in bed with each other. They're hopping in and out of bed. That's another matter. But let's face it. What are you doing in Punjab? The same goddamn Aam Aadmi Party. What has Kejriwal done other than Natak in Delhi? Compare it to Sheila Dikshit's tenure. So my whole thing is, please don't give more credit to the Indian electorate than is due. They are self-serving, ridiculously innocent intellectually when they choose to be. You know, Pawan Verma in The Great Indian Middle Class brilliantly said, he says the most selfish class in India is the middle class. They make it a virtue of being honest, honorable, but they're the first to succumb and the last to take the burdens of responsibility.
Well,
So I will say India needs a Narendra Modi or a Narendra Modi kind of leader, because we need someone to crack the whip. That's how unfortunately this country runs. And it's a sad thing to say, but you tell me, you are sitting at the perch of, journalism, you know what's going on. You tell me, would you take any of these people seriously? Would you really trust the nation with these chaps? Would you really trust the nation with a man who's intellectually innocent and who's actually, to my mind, an intellectual terrorist who talks in these times about the nation in a tukde manner? Is this the country?
Yes,
no,
but
seriously, if this is the country you want, you will get it. This is the people they will vote for. And I'm saying this, let me tell you today, I hate all political parties. All. I have worked on Vajpayee's campaign, I have worked on Sheila Dikshit's campaign. So I'm not beholden to anyone. But I can tell you when a good thing is happening to this country. The same jokers who are crying about democracy and freedom are the ones who are fiddling with foreign donations. You ask your own people, you ask Samir and Vineet Jain, they will tell you. So I'm tired of this nonsense. Oh, organizations are being shut down. This is being shut down. I'm sorry. What has happened today is the sense of entitlement has escaped. No one is entitled anymore. Those jokers who used to go on Air India 1 and go on free junkets, that has stopped. Now, has the government made mistakes? Many. As Tehseen Poonawalla rightly said, it does not behove of any politician, least of all the Prime Minister, to bring any community into play. I'm the first one to say, I was born and raised in Calcutta. It never crossed our minds to even talk about communities this way. But I'm saying, would you want to throw the baby with the bathwater? That's all.
Throw the baby with the bathwater. Tehseen, you wanted to come in. You had a point to make about, was it about Telangana? I think we went to a national narrative.
No.
We were trying to discuss
Telangana. On the national issue.
Okay, please, quickly make your point and then I want to come back to Telangana, please.
No, I want to speak about the national issue. You see, I respect what Sohail said and I completely agree with what he said. What is there not to agree? He's speaking the right things. But but it's not about throwing the baby with the bathwater. It's not that, the dirty bathwater. It's not a baby. It's only it's a bucket of dirty water, the BJP, which has to be thrown out. It's not just about demonizing Muslims.
Yeah.
It's about everything that they do. So you say about who's in bed in Odisha with Naveen Patnaik or the BJD. It's the BJP in bed with them. Who's in bed with Bihar? The BJP. The worst social indicators in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar is the BJP. And they've made it worse. They now have a draconian laws. They've got into your bedroom. Who's sleeping with whom, please? Yeah, Aditi, every statement I make, if you want to adopt, I will leave. That doesn't work like that. My flow can't. You cannot do that. No, you cannot do that because it doesn't go viral. Look, listen, we are on a social media thing. You allow my flow. If you break my flow, I can't. No, I can't. So now I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out. Now you have somebody else. I also have to go. No, I didn't, because I won't go. I can't tweet this, so it's okay. Let go of this. छोड़ दो इसको. अब next time करते हैं. कोई दिक्कत नहीं, अब अगली बार करते हैं. इसमें क्या है?
अरे
doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter. अरे नहीं यार, वो छोड़ दो. Flow टूट गया. अरे वो flow टूट गया. अरे flow टूट गया. No, I'm not angry. The flow is broken. No, I'm really not angry, bro. The flow is broken. अगली बार करते हैं. I'm really not angry. नहीं ऐसे नहीं है ऐसा नहीं है.
You're a good man.
No, I'm not petulant. I'm just saying that my flow broke and it's the third or fourth time. Not one page of mine will go. ऐसा नहीं होता ना.
अच्छा आप बोलो ना, आप बात खत्म करें.
नहीं अब मैं टॉपिक ही भूल गया क्या था. छोड़ दो उसको. That I agree with it, but I also want my thing to come properly. I don't want a breakup, so I don't want it. Let's do it next time.
Just start again.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We start again. I'll come back in 10 minutes. No, let's move on. I'm serious. Let's move on.
All right. Okay. Tehseen is serious.
Let's move on.
Tehseen,
I'm serious. Let's move on.
We want to hear your point of view because you always have very intelligent point of view.
I am smiling. Isko chhod do. Of course, what I'm just trying to say, let me end this. We have some. Let me end this. We have some terrible.
We feel terrible.
Don't feel terrible.
Really devastating.
You can treat me. You can take me to one of the good restaurants in Kolkata. Don't feel terrible about it. But I'm just saying is that we are in a situation in a nation where we have somebody who's in government who's extremely authoritarian. Extremely. They even want to know who's having a relationship with whom, and they want to be in your bedroom. That's how they want to control your lives. If it was merely about winning elections with the BJP, I would accept it. I would accept that they're a much better force than the Congress. I'm the first to accept it. And they will win an election. But it's not about winning an election. It's about pulverizing you. It's about dominating you. It's about making you submissive. It's about getting into your bedroom and seeing who's on the bed with you. They want you to fill a form on that. That's the extent the BJP has gone to. And that is extremely dangerous in a democracy. For a man to come out and in 4 hours say that your notes, which he has no right to do in demonetization, the RBI's perspective to take it away. And then the same man to stand up and say that the 2 top industrialists of the country, I don't think industrialists should be attacked. I don't like Rahul doing it. I don't like the Prime Minister doing it. Saying that industrialists are giving truckloads of money to the principal opposition party. The question should be asked of him, then why did you do demonetization? Why are you going after industrialists? Today he threw 2 people who stood by him. The 2 industrialists, he threw them under the bus. It doesn't work like this. You can't throw people under the bus just because you have to win. There has to be a larger principle that you got to fight for. That principle is the principle of India. And when you're 2 times Prime Minister on your way to be 3rd time Prime Minister, you should hold that principle. No matter what, you don't throw those principles, your people under the bus. If you throw your people under the bus only to secure a victory, if you demonize communities only to secure a victory that you already think you're going to win, then there is something wrong. Then that's not normal. Then that is about domination. That's about submission. That's my limit.
Can I come in now, Mr. Ketkar? I want to just come back to I hear your point of view, but as I would just want to get in, Mr. Ketkar, to bring in your perspective, sir, of what do you feel about Mr. Modi mentioning Adani and Ambani? Tehseen obviously feels very badly about it, but
I don't like it.
Okay,
No, I think the Congress leader in Lok Sabha, the main opposition leader in Lok Sabha, has given the answer. He has openly accepted that if they give money, I will not speak against them. If they give money, they are not giving money. That's why we have been ranting their name.
Yes, that is Adhir Ranjan.
Actually hinted towards that. Adhir Ranjan Babu has said this. So see the point here. Tehseen, show me a single instance where you have spoken against Pinarayi Vijayan, you have spoken against Mamata Banerjee. The highest number of cases for putting individuals in jail, even for commenting in social media, is Bengal and Kerala. You don't want to utter a word, and you call, and every day you are, your party is questioning, abusing, using all kinds of words for Prime Minister. And the moment somebody is there, you say it is dictatorship. What kind of dictatorship is this? So please don't insult democracy like this. We have seen what is real dictatorship. The real point, Aditi, you are discussing about the
Telangana.
the Telangana.
Can I just bring it back to Telangana? We keep digressing to national issues.
Telangana election is really very, very crucial. This Lok Sabha election, simply because BRS is really fighting a survival battle there. And remember, whenever there is a clear-cut BJP versus Congress, the 2 national parties in opposition, the state politics and dynamics completely change. We have seen that. Tehseen was talking about Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and UP. Come on, Tehseen. We don't expect from a person like you. You know social indicators of Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is out of Bimaru state when it comes to agriculture under BJP government. So don't mix up the things. When it comes to Telangana, BRS is fighting real battle, because Lok Sabha, if it would have been Assembly, Lok Sabha together, it would have been a different picture. I agree, Aditi. But in Lok Sabha elections, if the BRS is really going down to 1 or 2 seats, then it will be a totally different kind of message to the core voters, and then it will
but do
really
you
find
see
it
that
very
happening, sir?
challenging during the assembly elections.
So you see, if you see BRS going down to 1 or 2 seats, do you see the Congress's stock rising? Because the Congress, the wave of the 2023 Assembly elections, Revanth Reddy clearly emerging as a popular leader, given by the amount of seats that were won by the Congress. Do you see that percolating into the 20? Do you see the Congress benefiting from BRS's demise?
Oh yes. So the point is that the battle is really happening between Congress and BJP. BRS is turning to be just a insignificant player as far as Lok Sabha election is concerned. And after the results, the message will be up to the assembly election. And I don't know. I mean, it depends on how Revanth Reddy government performs when it comes to the governance and delivering those guarantees and promises and nyay, whatever they claim. As of now, he hasn't, but you don't know. So it will depend on that. But as of now, it looks like TRS vote share is going significantly down, and to some extent in Assembly, Congress has gained out of it. In Lok Sabha, it may not be true. Only Congress, both BJP and Congress can eat into that vote share.
But I spoke to a lot of people, sir. They were telling me
BJP is significantly entering in Telangana for sure.
But double digit ho paega BJP ka. Ram Mandir is not really a big factor as far as Telangana, and I'm just saying this is something many people from Telangana have told me. Let me bring in Rahul on this. Rahul, is Ram Temple an issue? Does the BJP have a fighting chance to get those double digit number of seats? Sorry?
Can I say something?
Sure,
I say something here?
Please.
In South India, BJP is not a force, and BJP is trying to enter the South in a big way. And if you take North Indian idioms and start playing them in South India, it's not going to work. That's the point. South India is totally different from North India. I also belong to North India, but now for the last 20 years, I stay in South India. So this Mr. Modi also realizes, and therefore he's trying to battle into South India. For that reason, he has had success in Karnataka, because RSS had worked there, and then Kerala.
Aditi, may I make a point? because you specifically asked about Ram Temple. Yeah. Remember, when it comes to the celebration of Ram Temple Pran Pratishtha ceremony, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka has witnessed the maximum numbers of temples being decorated. That is not the point. Individually, somebody being Hindu is different because the historical experience of South, when it comes to those invasions, are different. It is as simple as this. It doesn't mean that they are not connecting with Ram Temple issue. I didn't say because of Ram Temple, Telangana BJP is making inroads. I simply said organizationally and mobilization wise, BJP is doing much better in Telangana, and the real fight is happening between Congress and BJP when it comes to the Lok Sabha elections.
Okay, and let me now come back to Rahul. And Rahul, can you weigh in on with some data points, if possible, as to, I think they're contesting almost all the seats there. How do you see do you see a double-digit tally?
For BJP,
yes,
it's difficult. There are only 17 seats, right? And BJP in 2019 had 4. I think they would hope to be able to touch double digit, but I think that's a long shot. So in some ways, what has happened in Telangana after BJP's performance of 4 seats in 2019, they were expected to rise as a serious force. But between 2022 and 2023, BJP made certain mistakes in Telangana, and Congress, in that sense, was able to capitalize on the gains that was made in Karnataka. Plus, I think there was much more resonance of Bharat Jodo Yatra in southern India. And so Congress also broke ties with TDP. So last time in 2018, Congress has contested in alliance with TDP in that state. So that also had costed them some kind of things. So I think Congress picked up in Telangana, whereas BJP gone down during the assembly elections. What BJP hopes that due to Prime Minister Modi's popularity, due to this being a national election,
he is pretty popular there. Absolutely.
BJP at least sort of like improves its performance from 4 to 6, 7, 8 seats. I think touching 10 or going beyond that is it's like ab ki baar 400 par.
अब की बार 400 पार आ ही गया, ये वाला लाइन हर कॉन्वर्सेशन में आ जाता है. बट आई वांट टू लेट्स stay focused on Telangana and talk about, no conversation on Telangana is complete without and elections is complete without mentioning Oasi. Is Oasi really a factor beyond Hyderabad? Number one. Number two, in Hyderabad itself, this time he had a thing with Madhvi Lata, the BJP candidate, a very well spoken, a very articulate sort of a leader who's come out in the field to challenge Oasi, and Oasi has been a running MP from Hyderabad for the longest time. Sohail, do you want to weigh in on how do you see that fight panning out? Do you see Madhvi Lata denting Oasi's winning margins or doing something remarkable then? I can't hear Sohail.
I said,
Sohail, yeah.
I said a lot of the Muslim community now needs to introspect if the leaders that they have are actually leaders or scoundrels, because they are hurtling the community into that bubble of despair, despondency, and no work, because it suits their political motives. Think about one thing, Aditi, and this is for all the panelists to ponder over. From 1947 till 2024, has the Muslim community got a single pan-national leader? The answer is no. You had the vitriolic Said Shahabuddin at one time. You had rabble-rousers. But have you had a leader who's sagacious? The answer is no. Have you had a leader who's development-oriented? No. The Muslim community, to my mind, unfortunately, has unwittingly allowed itself to be used as a vote bank or block by every political party, and at times they've reveled in it. See, sometimes communities like being appeased to. So you can't have it both ways. The problem with Oasi is using the tried and tested method of just one thing. Islam खतरे में है. आप मुझे कहिए अदिति जी, आज के भारत में अगर आप आज का सेंसस करें तो भारत में सबसे ज्यादा मुसलमानों की आबादी है. अब इंडोनेशिया से भी ज्यादा है. हम क्या पागल हैं? और कौन सा देश ऐसा होगा जो अपने ही मुस्लिम भाई बहनों के खिलाफ अत्याचार करेगा, fearing what reprisals there are? Some of the statements that are made by the BJP or by whoever else are unfortunate. But you tell me, is it Narendra Modi's job or Amit Shah's job to go every morning to Khan Market looking to buy a Muslim leader for the Muslim community? Shouldn't it emerge from them? अगर वो हुआ तो आप बोलेंगे Oasi is BJP's B team. The tragedy with our communities is the leadership, especially in the Muslim community, has been missing. They have transferred all that, saying, oh, Hindus, majority, ye wo. And I will end by saying one more thing. You tell me, Aditi, I'm a born Hindu. Okay? I didn't choose it, but I'm proud to be a Hindu. I've always been proud, and I hope to die being a proud Hindu. Is it my fault to belong to a majority? Why should you means some governments or some leaders make me feel guilty because I'm part of the majority? Is it my job as a citizen who pays his taxes to make sure that everything that the minorities want is given to them? Why is it my job? Let the goddamn government do it. Why am I made to feel guilty? For the last 50, 60, 65 years, you've made the majority in this country feel guilty. By the way, I am, and I know in my heart of hearts, I am the most secular because I really don't give a monkey's toss about religion. I think it's the opium for the masses. Having said that, why should I be made to feel guilty? Why should I not be appeased? You know what Modi's done? He's told you कि भाई इतने सालों से तो वो एक कम्युनिटी के अपीजमेंट करते थे. That narrative has gone down well with the majority. Why do you think he's winning elections? You tell me, if Aditi Prasad wants to go to a temple or wants to go to a mosque, is it my business to stop it? No. Aditi Prasad is allowed to do whatever the hell she wants under the constitution. You had a Rajiv Gandhi, the so-called secular messiah of the world, backtrack on a Supreme Court ruling on Shah Bano. That was fine. That was secular. But today we've become a bloody communal country. Yeah, you can't have it both ways.
Okay.
I will only end by saying one thing. Whether it is Oasi or Shahabuddin, he's dead, or whoever, please get leaders who are sagacious, who are development-oriented, who care for their community, not just their vote, who care for them in the interim of the 5 years, not at every 5-year time. Then you will see a new India. But till then, don't blame one community versus the other. That's the problem.
Okay, let me then talk about, again, I come back to my question. I hear your point of view. Get more leaders talking about development, etc.
Get proper leaders.
Instead of talking, I mean, there was an APJ Abdul Kalam, but then of course he was not standing for elections. But having said that, let's just come back to Hyderabad. The fight. Do you think Oasi has a fight this time, Rahul, from Madhvi Lata?
At least if you look at the social media handles and YouTube videos and all those kind of things, it would seem that there is a contest. But in any case, I think BJP has put up a formidable candidate. She's making waves. Whether she would be able to turn, we don't know.
On June 4th, because Hyderabad is his seat. I mean, he's been there.
It has been seat of his family for a very, very long period of time.
Absolutely. But having said that, another very interesting, I just want to move away from Telangana and Andhra and just talk about the other key seats that are going or that have polled today, where the ballot boxes have been sealed, or rather the EVM machines are done with their jobs for the day. I think it's 6 o'clock. Yes, voting would have ended almost everywhere, and these are seats in West Bengal. Again, West Bengal, very segregated elections. Who do you think this is benefiting? And let me give that to Mr. Ketkar. A few seats in every phase, rather than one toss thing like it's happening in Andhra, or happened in Karnataka in 2 phases, or Kerala in 1 phase. Mr. Ketkar?
See the point that Yashwant was making earlier, that wherever there is a contest, the mobilization is more. But if you see by West Bengal standards, still the voting percentage that we are seeing in West Bengal is relatively low, because West Bengal has always seen, simply because the kind of political mobilization that has happening on ideological lines there, right from the left regime, where you have a regimented and cadre-based mobilization, you tend to have more vote percentage. Here we are seeing what we have seen in Asansol, for example, today. This segregated voting has allowed one, that is the better security arrangements compared to last time. I'm not saying it is perfect. Compared to last time, a better security arrangement when it comes to the electioneering. Two, the kind of role that earlier Bengal police used to play in this election, now the central forces are playing very, very significant role there. It is also allowing various parties, because there are too many sensitive booths there. So many political parties and many candidates. See, wherever, Aditi, please remember, whether it's Bengal, whether Tripura, whether Kerala, I don't know, but many in national channels, they don't like to talk about it in national media, that there are party-based villages. they call it party village. Traditionally, it's supposed to be the communist village, and there no other party was supposed to campaign. Even campaigning was, kind of death warrant. And there are many such villages even today in Kerala. Now, TMC is following the similar kind of pattern in Bengal. So there, getting election machinery. So BJP is getting some time and workforce to move from one area to another, so that the campaigning is kept in the same mode. But this dropping down of campaign is really puzzling for me when it comes to West Bengal. Because on an average, West Bengal has always seen the voting of 80, 82, 83. It was a very common even in the adverse.
Today in West Bengal, sir, till 5 p.m. the voting percentage is 75.66, which is again quite a high percentage compared to the places like Andhra at 68%, Bihar 54%.
Compared to other states, West Bengal is better, but from West Bengal standards, it is still low, 5 to 7%.
It has come down. Well, what does lower voting percentage in a West Bengal mean?
It simply means, for me, see, there are two things that have happened, and this is just a thing that I have got from the ground. One, this 400 par narrative has, completely, the enthusiasm has completely dead from both the sides, and it is really impacting the voting pattern. That is my assessment. But two, more important thing is, and this is the thing that I have got while after talking to various candidates. Aditi, please remember, money is still very important factor when it comes to electioneering. People, thanks to various reasons, whether ED rates or tight watch on who is spending what, but there is a significant decline of use of money power in this election if you go seat by seat, and that has also impacted on elections in West Bengal. Also, that might be a very important factor.
Mr. Nag, what's your sense? Is that why the voting percentage?
Yeah, West Bengal is a state like that where there is massive voting, whether it's the left parties or the Congress party. So it is a dominated place where people dominate. So it's not a question of fair election, free and fair election. There's never been free or fair election in West Bengal, whether the Communist Party wins or whether the Trinamool Congress wins. And this is a question, let me tell you, this was asked to me by Mr. Modi himself. And I told him, you can't have these elections. So therefore, you will have dominated elections. तो वैसा ही हो रहा है.
वैसा ही हो रहा है. बताइए. हाँ, Rahul wanted to come in.
First, turnout decline is everywhere in the country.
Yeah.
And it was expected. The reason it was expected that you cannot have multiple elections with always turnout increase. We had a turnout increase between 2009 and 14. We had a turnout increase between 14 and 19. So since 1952 till 2019, we never had 3 successive elections with turnout increase. So the best case scenario for 2024 was stagnation of turnout. Decline was in some ways, there is any market, if it goes up, it will also at some point correct and come down. Second, I think what Yashwant was trying to say is that even in the scenario of turnout decline, what you are going to see in states like West Bengal, the decline would be lower compared to a place like Rajasthan or Gujarat, where it is, not Bihar. See, Bihar, UP, Madhya Pradesh are historically low turnout places compared to West Bengal, Tamil Nadu. There are different historical reasons. But what with Rajasthan example he was trying to make is that in places where you expect the contest to be sort of like slightly uncertain, you will see more people turning out, and where you see contest one side either direction, the turnout is going to be lower.
All right. In Andhra, Yashwant, before leaving, he was talking about the turnout there and he wanting to find out what it was. It's at 68%, which is, I think, till 5 p.m. So I think that should give us an inkling about.
So Andhra is going to be a tightly contested election. See, there are a couple of things about Andhra. First, TDP has never won election alone. TDP need an
Always.
alliance. Yes, TDP needs an alliance to win election. So
They've
this
got
time,
an alliance.
so this time they have got an alliance. Last time, the gap in vote share between YSRCP and TDP was large. In Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha elections, it was around 8 to 9 percentage points. So that's a very significant gap. Now with Jan Sena and BJP coming in, I think on paper, these parties or these groups are well pitched to.
But BJP is the junior partner in this.
Very junior. It has a 1% vote share. So
compared
yes,
to
exactly.
All
what
right.
BJP hopes to ride on the coattail of TDP in YSR in Andhra Pradesh.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for all your inputs here. Thank you, viewers, for watching this broadcast. I'm afraid we've run out of time. We promised our guests that we'll free them up by 6. It's already 6:13. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you. And we'll come back to you this week on Friday again. Stay tuned.